Hi there guys, Danna Alexander here from Prestige Dog Grooming School and the Everyday Pet Groomer. We're coming online today and I'm going to show you guys my tips for these big double-coated breeds and how I deal with some time-saving tips and tricks to get these guys sculpted in quickly. This is kind of a natural, tidy type of thing that we're doing on this guy, so I'm just gonna flip you guys over. We'll show you a couple different situations on this guy, how we deal with it. So I'm gonna show you a foot trim, my fast quick foot trims, hawk trim, how I like to skim in with clippers to get these guys shaped real quick and simple but with a very natural finish, and also how I like to deal with behind the ear mats that are really tight to the skin and that sculpting the rear end with clippers instead of shears. So we're going to cover all of that in this live. So let me flip you around to introduce you to our buddy here. This is Kona. He's a really beautiful Pyrenees cross of some sort. He is a giant breed. He's really pretty. He's gorgeous and very well behaved. He's a good boy. Anyways, he's got really big mats behind his ears. I'm going to show you how we deal with that. I'm going to show you how we're going to skim in everything and shape him with clippers instead of shears. So we hear fast and efficient. You guys know on this page, we're always talking about fast efficiency skills. I'm going to show you one foot trim. His other feet are done. And I'm going to show you how I like to do my hawks. And how I'm able to do these guys, at least all the scissoring and trimming, using clippers in a very short, efficient way. So let's get started. I think we're going to start with a foot here. Let me flip you guys to another cameraman. I'll be grabbing stuff at the same time, guys. Grab a few things here. Okay, I'm going to start off with my curved shears. These are my sassy dogs from LA Sharpening. I love them. They're nice. They are an 8.5 inch for those wanting to know the length. So I'm going to start. I've done my paw pads. So paw pads are done and clear. My very first step is always to lift my foot up. I'm setting the dog's foot on my forearm. That's going to help me be able to control his foot and hold the weight. Okay, I'm going to brush up. My first step is always a direct cut straight up and down. Okay, so I don't know if there's a better angle for you guys. We're going to find out. See how that cut needs to be straight up and down off the nails. And I'm just going to dust that all the way around, straight up and down. You can also do it with the weight down, straight up and down, right to the nails. Notice how I'm just pivoting my wrist, setting my shears and pivoting my wrist. Now what happens is that you're left with the peaks of hair between the toes. Let me move him back into the light. You see how we're left with the 3 peaks of hair? Now with him, this being the left foot, which is one of the hardest feet for us right-handed people, I am going to come from behind him and I'm following the natural curve of my shear. I'm lining up the base of my shear with the shorter hair just above. So you see the short hair above his foot. On a double-coated breed, we always have this shorter coat. You don't want to be cutting into this coat. You want to work with it. So see how I'm lining up the base of my shear? And I'm allowing the tips of my shear to come where I've already trimmed that straight up and down angle. That straight up and down angle is vital to getting that very flat, tight, round foot that we want. Okay, setting up my base, trimming, setting up my base, trimming, setting up my base, and trimming. Okay? And you always need to repeat. So again, that straight up and down angle, just pivoting right to the nails. Okay, coming underneath, setting my base, setting my base, setting my base. And that's how you get the perfect foot. Then I like to come, and my next step is to just edge the bottom. Okay, I like to lift the foot up to edge the other side. And you've got the perfect little foot. Always double check once the weight is on that it's looking the same. So if you do the foot completely trimmed on your leg, on your arm, sorry, make sure you put the foot down and readjust because it always looks a bit different once weight is on it. Let's switch to our back hawk here. Grab my straight shears. So I'm going to hold his tail in one hand and all of his leg bum frills up. And I like to comb sideways, coming from behind, out. scissoring out. And then what I like to do is I like to first trim to where it becomes thick. Can you guys see? There's always hair that you can see through. Where I can't see through anymore, that's where I like to trim to. Just as a general rule of thumb, I like to get rid of everything that I can see through. I'm gonna comb everything up. That sets in my general length. Then I'm just leveling my shears straight down and taking off the corners. So I'm not taking more length off, I'm just giving it a bit of shape. Making sure you're following through that length all the way down. Okay, you always need to keep combing, keep adjusting again. I'm also pushing lightly on the tendon above just to bring his foot forward so I can reach under here. You guys see that? So in my hold, I've got his bum hair, his tail, and I'm bringing his legs slightly forward so that now I can come and take this. I come at a very steep angle and tuck that all in right to his pads, and then make sure that this is straight. Remember, you need to repeat this area multiple times because it is very thick hair, so you need to make sure that that's completely done, okay? And I always comb down to check my work, okay? If I see anything that's popping out, I'm gonna go in and just adjust it. That's your back hock. Okay. Now we're gonna go in and show you how we deal with behind the ear. His owner calling, so he's asking, where's this doggy? Okay, I'm gonna show you guys how to deal with these behind ear mats. I see a lot of groomers that just end up shaving a giant patch behind here, and I want to show you guys how I try and limit that as much as possible. So we're gonna come in. His mats are very, very tight behind the ears, so they're not ones that I'm gonna choose to demat. Whenever you work on ears, grab the tip of that ear and bring it towards the nose. This is always how you're gonna prevent cutting ears and also cutting the skin behind the ear, okay? Always think of that. If you try and clip the ear just this way without stretching it forward, you are very much risking nicking that back there. So that's my first step. In my hold, I'm gonna bring that ear forward. I'm gonna lift up all the hair I possibly can out of the way. We wanna preserve hair. We want hair to cover up where we're shaving, not leave a giant hole here, okay? We've got one tiny one over here. This one can be combed out. So see, that one just comes right out. But then we've got these other ones that are quite tight to the skin. So we've got a really big one in here. I like to feel. I like to really feel and move everything out of the way. But see how vital it is to pull that whole ear forward. I've got his ear under my thumb and I'm holding his entire head in my one hand. I'm gonna come in with my 10 blade. And what you want to do is you just want to very, very lightly be touching that tiny bit of new hair growth that's just starting at the skin. So it's a very gentle motion, just in and out. And I want to feel. You need to feel it. You can feel when that mat releases, that's enough. Don't go digging in there and grabbing a huge shave line in there. That's how you end up with this huge shave patch and no hair left to cover it. Okay? So I'm just gonna come in very light. See, I'm just barely touching. And I can feel it. I can feel when the mat is starting to see it's already released. I can feel when it's all the way. Now it's done. So once I've done that, I'm gonna come in and comb everything else out. That way, you can see we have our shave patch here, but it was literally only what was necessary, okay? If you just go in there, guns a-blazing, then you end up with this huge shave patch back here that can't be hidden by the rest of his hair. And we want all that hidden, and you can see that there's no results left over that he even has a shaved patch back there, okay? So that's how I like to deal with that. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys how I like to skim the bodies in using clippers instead of shears. A lot of people like to use chunkers. So for example, you could come in, his owner likes him all cleaned up, so we could come in with chunkers and blend all this in, which is a wonderful way to do it too. There's no right or wrong in grooming, but I just want to show you guys other techniques that help you increase speed, increase efficiency, which ultimately increases your income. I'm going to use a dark purple on my wall 5-in-1 clippers. This is similar to a 5 length. And I'm just going to go very lightly allowing weight, just allowing gravity to do the work. And I'm just dusting. I'm following the grain exactly the way it's growing. And I'm just gonna quickly dust everything in. What this does is leave an extremely natural look, but it's much quicker because we're cutting this much hair at once, okay? And I'm just following the natural lay, where I want his coat to lay. I imagine his mane wrapping around him in the front, so that's how I see the direction I'm going, is the way I want the hair to lay, okay? And I like to bring everything, I already brought it from the other side earlier, so I know that I've just got this little strip just to touch up now. Again, I'm just letting gravity do the work, back and forth, but it's gonna leave him extremely natural looking, and it's way faster than scissoring. Be very, very cautious when you have different colored coat, black over white, or maybe black over tan like this. If you accidentally go too deep, you're gonna have a giant tan patch, so you need to be very cautious about that. Combing out. Again, I want this just to naturally wrap underneath. So I'm just gonna come in, allow gravity to just naturally wrap it underneath. I want him to look natural. I don't want it to be over scissored looking, but I want him to look like he's been to a professional. Okay? Naturally wrapping that all in. Okay? And under here, I'm just going lightly. I want him still to be very natural looking. Okay. See how that gives him a really nice profile? And you can do the same on the ears, just lightly up in the front of the ears. Okay. So that gives him a really nice profile. Now I'm going to show you guys how I deal with the rear end. Same thing, real quick and easy. I'm going to come in. My first step, sorry guys, I'll get organized here. My first step is dealing with these very bulky, large rear ends. Just let me belly bend him. He likes to sit when we touch his rear end. So. Okay. My first step in dealing with these rear ends is taking out the bulk on the inside. See how this bulk is pushing this out. So this side I've already taken it out so you can see it lies really nicely. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to lift up his rear leg, tail, everything. And I'm going to use my same light purple. The reason is, in a double-coated breed, we don't want to leave a big naked groin in a number 10. So I kind of like my light purple lightly on the inside. Tends to do the trick. So I'm going to come in, take out in the groin, still leaving myself quite a curtain. You don't want to see this from the outside, but I do want to take out this bulk so that this lies nicer. Okay? What's going to happen is, you guys can already tell, just taking that out, now my bum lies really nice. Do you see that? Huge difference with just taking that bulk out. Okay, and I did that in the dark purple, but you can also do it in a little bit longer, 1/2 inch yellow, whatever you feel like. Just removing that bulk sets up your bum, okay? Now my first way of doing a bum is to comb everything to the side. Okay, you guys see that? So you can see from a side view what needs to be shaped in. When this dog moves, after we put him on the ground, you can tell in these double-coated breeds, just watch their bums, guys, they kind of waft side to side when they're walking, okay? We want this hair to naturally sweep in. We want it to stay in position. So to do that, I need to remove hair that's out of position. So I'm moving everything to the side. And again, I'm going to use the weight of gravity. And I'm just going to lightly start taking that in. You could do this with scissoring too. If you're more comfortable with scissoring, so you're not a skimmer yet, that's fine. You can follow these same steps, just scissor instead of skim. Notice I'm following the natural shape of his leg, just dusting it in, okay? Just like scissoring, recomb, do it again. Okay? Very lightly, I'm allowing gravity to do the work and I'm following the natural shape of his leg. Okay? What that's going to do is now you can see no matter how I comb this, it lies. It's natural looking, but it lies. And when he moves, it's going to stay that way. Okay? Oops, stay up there, everybody. Okay, next I'm going to comb everything out. I just want to see what's going to fly out. So I'm using a very long poodle type comb. And now I'm gonna do the same thing from this side view. Now I'm gonna take everything straight down. Again, I want everything to just stay in place. I'm just connecting with where I've already scissored / skinned. Just following that around. And as I come closer to the bottom, I'm just tucking in just slightly. I like them very natural but cleaned up looking. As I come to where he's gonna have, you know, excrement coming out, I like to come at a slight angle. So see how I'm pointing the inside of my clipper in? And I'm just creating a little bit of separation there. Angle in, a little bit of separation. Now, if you have an owner like on an Australian Shepherd where you do not want separation between the butt cheeks, you just don't skip that step. Okay, I'm gonna go lightly inside just to open that up a bit. So it's staying clean. Fluff this side out. I previously did the outside, but we need to fix this side. So fluffed out and straight down. As you come to the bottom, slightly tuck in. Okay. Now what you're left with is a little bit to tidy up on the inside. But because we took out all the bulk in here, this is gonna be super quick and easy. Okay, so I'm just gonna come in and just trim the outside hairs. Very light, super quick, super easy. Again, repeat, anytime you scissor, you need to repeat. All I want is the long hairs that are just out of the way. Okay, comb out, fluff to check. If I see areas, I'm just gonna gently tuck them in. And that's how I like to do my rear ends. Quick, simple, very, very natural, very, very effective, quick and easy, without doing a ton of scissoring. And I hope those tips were helpful to you guys. I'm Danna Alexander with Prestige Dog Grooming School and the Everyday Pet Groomer, and hope you guys are having a great day. Talk to you soon.